Hello, how y'all doing? Hey buddies, coming to you live, so to speak, from the world-class sound studios of the White House in Mont Belvieu, Texas. Not in conjunction with Prestige Entertainment, but really more locally known as my bedroom, as it's the most soundproof room in the house. I'm going to cook my meal kit today. And no sense in telling you what company it is because I'm not doing any shout outs to any companies. I know all 23 of my subscribers. And when I say 23, it's because it's not 25. Because if my best friend and my other friend were subscribers, it'd be 25. But it's not. It's just 23. So I settled on, as you saw, I settled on the recipe for stuffed bell peppers, which will be pork sausage and couscous stuffed peppers. You saw me wipe down the cooktop 2 days ago. I was showing off my clean kitchen, and I said if I was going to start cooking, I would need to clean first. It was already clean. Well, since then, the night before, I cooked something I have cooked for you guys before. I made some last minute super quick sausage and rice, and oh, it was so good. It was so good. And anyway, I just had to wipe up the cooktop, and I love these meal kits. I've had a meal kit subscription before a few years ago, and I really liked it. Gotta have some coffee to drink while I do this. But I stopped doing it because it was a little expensive, and it was just, even though I got the least amount of meals for a kit, which is 3, and the least amount of servings per kit, which was 2, it still was just too much. And this is my Primo's coffee that I get from, it's made right here in Mont Belvieu, Texas. I get it from the City of Mont Belvieu Farmers Market. And as I pointed on the package there, that is the specific brew for cold brewed, cold press, French presses, etc. And even though I'm drinking my coffee, I've also got my water there because you got to stay hydrated no matter what the weather is. But as I was saying, I stopped doing the meal kit because it's a little bit pricey and too much food for just one person. But my bestie got me started up again, and I really enjoy these kits. I really do. I really do enjoy them. Let me wash my veggies with the veggie wash. I didn't realize how dark the lighting was. I'll fix it later on in the video. But first thing they tell you to do is to wash and prep the vegetables. So I'm washing the bell peppers. Man, I love bell peppers. I have really been eating a lot of them lately. I've been eating them raw. I meal prepped for you guys a couple weeks ago. Made a couple servings of ground turkey with a lot of taco seasonings, and a couple servings of ground beef with like Italian seasonings. And then I take it to work and I scoop it up with slices of bell pepper and a lot of tahini. It's very, very filling. I love it. I always have best intentions with these recipe cards. I initially begin by, excuse me, by chopping exactly the way they tell you. And I always forget, just chop it how you want, Sarah. If I had chopped it the way I normally do, I would have done it correctly and easily. But I did exactly as they said, which just made a mess with all the seeds. And I just gave up, and I should have just done it the way I usually do, where I slice through the pepper at the top to separate the top, which pulls out all the seeds in one fell swoop. But in doing it the way they told me to, I hacked off, accidentally, a big piece of the pepper. And there it is, it's gone. I ate it though, it was delicious. So here I am with the first of about 1,000. So I'm going to try and not do that. So, onion here is something else. I should have just chopped it up the way I normally do, but no, I had to be a dummy and follow the instructions, and it just made a mess. And this particular onion affected me more than any other onion has ever affected me. I went through several Kleenexes from this onion. It was very potent. I love onion though. I'll chop it up and put it in anything. I just love it so much. Here I am using not my Pampered Chef cutting board, which I love so much, but this cutting board has done just as well. I think it's nylon. Does just as well as a good job as any other. Please do not mistake me for the anal retentive chef from Saturday Night Live in the mid-80s. You see me constantly cleaning stuff up, but those little bell pepper seeds, you just don't want them sticking to your fingers. Blech. Here I am with my knives, being very dangerous with my knives, and I'm being careful because I burned myself the night before. Big dumb stupid move I did. I was cleaning my stoneware, which you never use soap on stoneware because it's very porous. It will absorb the soap and you'll taste it in your next food you cook. But I scraped and wiped out the leftover brownies, and then I poured a kettle of boiling water over it, and I was scrubbing with the rubber scrubber at the same time and poured the kettle right over my hand. And it's not like a blistering burn or anything, but I am at 26 hours later, and it's still kind of smarts. Still kind of smarts. Speaking of Pampered Chef, there's my Pampered Chef chopper. That thing, that sucker works so good. And this is the newer model. A lot of people will tell you it's not as good as the first model that came out, and I don't know what happened to my first model. I don't know if it broke or if it got lost moving into my house 12 years ago, but that shows you how old it is because I had it before, long before I moved into the house. Moving on to the garlic, and again, I wanted to try something fancy that I learned on the Ticker Talker, and it didn't work. I've seen people do this on TikTok. They slice it straight down the middle and they bop it real hard and it all pops out of the peel. Did not work for me. I spent a crazy amount of time trying to peel this garlic when I should have just peeled it the way I do all the time. I even gave up and pulled down my little blue tube that comes with my little garlic kit that I got from Greece. And you just slip them into the blue tube and then you start rolling and it just rubs the peel off. Well, it wasn't going to work because it had already been chopped in half, and so it didn't really work. So I just made a bigger mess. But that little blue tube, that works. If you put the cloves in there and you press hard while rolling, it's kind of the same concept as putting boiled eggs, to peel them, putting them in a jar of water and shaking it real hard, bumping it back and forth. It's going to slip the peel off. It's kind of the same concept. But that little garlic thing, it comes with a plate, and the plate has the ceramic is shaped in little points, and it's designed for you to hold the clove of garlic and rub it in a circle over those points, and it grinds it down. And it also has with it a little brush with very, very stiff bristles, and you use that to scrape the garlic out. Anyway, it's a wonderful little tool that I never ever used. I need to start using it again. These knives I'm using, they're not the world's best, but I like them. I got them from Larry's Old Time Trade Days, and I think it's in Winnie. Oh gosh, I can't remember. Oh, here come the yawnies. Sorry, I beg your pardon. But I love these knives because every time you pick them up, it makes the sound. You know, the sound you hear in the horror movies. Swing, ting, ting. It makes those sounds every time. And I always thought to myself, when the lady's alone in the house in the horror movie, and she hears swing, and you're like, you know somebody's pulled out a butcher knife because the sound. Well, these knives make that sound. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. So here's my chopper again. Gave up on the garlic. Got my chopper out. Choppity, 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 chop, 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 chop. Clean out all that garlic goodness. For real, not trying to be anal retentive, but I'm washing stuff up as I go. I don't do it all the time. I don't do it all the time. But I just hate finishing cooking something and a big pile of dishes. I don't care to wash one at a time. I'd rather do that than do 20 at one time. Got my baking sheet out and gonna roast the bell peppers. I'm not good at roasting anything. It never roasts the way it's supposed to. I've seen Rachel Ray roast so many potatoes, and she always says, toss them on a baking sheet with olive oil, with a drizzle of olive oil, and roast them, and it just never works for me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I gotta look into that. But I roasted those. I didn't turn the video sound down all the way. I pointed at my burn because I keep touching it and it was hurting. And I can very faintly hear the ding dong of the motion detector in the backyard every time the doggy came in. So now we're going to cook up the chopped up onions. Oh, there's that bowl there that somebody stole from a restaurant. Was not me, for real, was not me. The bowl just appeared yesterday, and I'm like, where'd this bowl come from? I was shocked. Shocked. So let me take everything off the stove top so I don't set stuff on fire again. Got my skillet out. That skillet's getting nasty. I really want a new set of pots. I'm going to get me a new set of pots soon. Very, very soon. And I was really worried about this because I put that drizzle of olive oil in there forgetting to spray it with Pam first. And it did okay, but I was kind of worried. I was kind of worried about it. Sippy, sippy. You see me salt things a lot in this, and I've learned something about that. While doing these kits, every single time you add a new ingredient, they say salt and pepper it. When I first started, I'm like, that's too much salt. That's too much salt. And then when everything's said and done, it's not seasoned enough. And then I, coincidentally, around the same time, I heard Gordon Ramsay say, every time you add ingredients, salt it, because you're adding more volume, and you initially salted it for the volume you had in there, and when you add more, you need to add more salt. And I'm like, notice I didn't say so, and I'm like, duh, glad to know that. Okay, got it. I sped this up. I can't believe it's 26 minutes long. I thought I cooked this a lot quicker than I did. And I've now learned that my camera will only videotape 33-minute long videos. I never knew that because it stopped and then started a new video, and then I had to combine them together and then speed them up. Now it's time to add the pork sausage. Boy, do I have a conversation prepared about the pork sausage. I've cooked pork sausage before, and that was funny. It kept saying to squeeze it out of the sausage casing. It didn't come in sausage casing form. It came already ground, which was not a big deal. I've cooked pork sausage before. Very tasty, very flavorful, and very odd thing. When I put this sausage in the pan, it did not smell good at all. It didn't smell bad, but it literally smelled like liver and onions. I mean, if I walk in the house and somebody was cooking, I would say, "Oh, we're having liver and onions." That's exactly what it tasted like. And it was kind of odd, and I was overthinking and overthinking and overthinking. I'm like, okay, this was solid, frozen solid when I received it. I immediately put it in the freezer. The night before, I moved it to the refrigerator. So it's had time to safely thaw. So at no point could I tell that it was ever at an improper temperature, but it had an odd smell to it. And I thought to myself, I'm going through a lot of trouble. I'm going through a lot of trouble, time, and expense to cook this, and it's going to be bad. It's not going to taste good. But I pressed forward. I kept on hoping for the best. When all was said and done, the dish was good. I got a lot more to say about the final product because of the other ingredient put in. When all was done, it was good. Didn't really taste the sausage. Was not all that tasty. If I make this again, I'll try it again with sausage, or I'll try a spicier sausage, maybe Italian sausage, or I'll just do ground beef, because maybe just this particular one was not all that good. And occasionally while making this, I'm stepping over to the oven and checking on those peppers roasting, which they did taste wonderful. They did roast up very nicely. I would not even mind doing this again and putting them into raw peppers. Wouldn't mind it one bit. It would be absolutely yummy. Be very good. I kept thinking, when does the garlic go in? When does garlic go in? And I missed it. It was in the instructions to put it in when you put the onions, and I missed it. But it got thrown in there. And as you can see, I'm salting each time an ingredient goes in. Oh boy, I got sneezies coming. I'm about to start sneezing. Sippy, sippy, sippy. Slurpy, slurpy, slurpy. I noticed today when filming this, if you look around my house, everything you put your hand on, my friend Julie gave me. Look at everything in this picture Julie gave me. The beautiful percolator, the oil thing. Over behind the camera is containers that I've got straws in that she gave me. Darn Julie, she's so awesome. Can't stand her. Read the recipe card, make sure I'm not screwing anything up. Putting in the tomato paste. What's really fun about these kits, all the proteins are frozen, and it's at the very bottom in between cold packs. And here's the couscous. Have a conversation about this couscous. And then all the other ingredients are in a box, and I just put the box in the refrigerator. So I've had couscous many times in my life, and I like it. I really, really do. I don't remember having it in a hot meal. If I did, I just don't remember. I do remember many times having Israeli couscous salad, or even in a pasta salad, and absolutely loving it. It was absolutely wonderful. But in this dish, it was okay. And I say that as in, it was cooked properly. It was okay, but there was no flavor. There was no flavor at all. It was almost like you were tasting the onions and the sausage separately, and then like alongside it was the couscous. And I keep thinking, what could have been done to that couscous to make almost like it needed to have flavor infused in it. I'm sitting here thinking, you just saw me put 2 cups of water in there. Maybe I should have soaked it in a cup of chicken broth or beef broth, maybe? I don't know. But, or maybe that's just the way couscous is. It was good. It was okay. But there was just not a lot of flavor to this dish entirely, in its entirety. And I added red pepper flakes to it too, because I add red pepper flakes to everything. But the dish was okay. It was filling. It was good. I enjoyed making it. But as far as taste, it was not very exciting. Um, and it possibly could be down to that sausage. There was something about that sausage that was not very flavorful. And I'm still suffering from the onion. I think that was my third Kleenex I just pulled out. Stir, stir, stir. It told me to bring it to a boil and continue stirring until it was reduced. It never said turn the heat down. But I did. It'd start rolling boiled, and I'd turn it down. I'd stir, 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 and it would keep boiling, and then a couple minutes later I'd turn it down again, just a little bit. But at the same time, I'm keeping my eyes on those bell peppers. I think they're done about now. I think. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing. Maybe because I'm laying on my side in my bed and I got a puppy dog tucked between in the crooks of my knees. This dog has slept most of the day today. There is the good old trusty red pepper flake. Good, good, good stuff. Should have put more. Should have put more in there. When I talk about these flavors setting side by side, and that goes along with how I feel about flavors. Those are my super cheap dollar store trivets. I must have pulled the peppers out and set them on those trivets. Let's see what those peppers look like. I can hear something beeping. I like flavors that are blended, not pureed together, but that's like softly blended together. There's that couscous. For example, I don't want to take a bite of ice cream and have to fight the chunks of chocolate in it. I would rather have a bite of ice cream with the chocolate, like a smooth chocolate, gently blended through it, like a fudge. And that's kind of how this was. It's like you could taste the sausage, and then right next to it was couscous. And the couscous had no flavor in it at all. And I don't know, I feel kind of silly complaining about it because I ate it. I ate it, but it really could have used a lot more flavor. We're coming up to the end of this because we just have to pull the peppers out and stoof them. On my next days off, I'm going to be making some candy trucks. I may not be able to do it. I may have to go back to my old standard of making candy trains. There's the peppers. There they are. I tucked them up real close to each other so that I could scoop the filling into it. But I'll videotape me making the candy trains that I'm going to take to work and share with everybody. I figured they'd be COVID safe because it's all wrapped. It's not unwrapped candy. So no one should have any issue with it. And now I'm going to top it with the mozzarella cheese, which was yummy. That was good. And it was broiled. It said to broil it for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, in my experience, everything I've ever broiled in my life, they've said 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever minutes. It is always broiled in 45 seconds. And it says right there, right there, be careful. It just takes them, watch it because it can burn. But it did say 2 to 3 minutes. Literally like 45 seconds later, I could smell smoke. And I'm like, oh boy. The plating instructions said to scoop the remainder onto the plate and then set your peppers on top. So you're going to see that, and then we're going to be done here. This was my longest video I think I've ever done. So sorry if you've held through to the end. Thank you. I really like this spatula. It advertises a pizza spatula, I think. But anyway, look at that cheese dripping off of it. It was wonderful. Wonderful. And that's that. Thank you so much for watching and cooking with me. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you soon.